I'm a reviewer, so let the reviews be joined. Hey guys, your friend Dombot back yet again for another video review. As you can see, we're continuing our look at the Transformers Collector Club subscription service figures of the 5.0 series. And we're going to look here at Counterpunch, Decepticon Counterpunch. Now, quick little backlog here, as I show off his tech specs, is that Counterpunch is half of a pretty cool bot that used to be, or figure from the G1. It was Punch Counterpunch. He was a double spy. You basically, what meant that means is that you had a bot that he had a car formed similar to this, and he could transform one of two ways. He could transform to one robot form to be an Autobot, and to another similar robot mode to form a Decepticon. He's basically the spy form for the Autobots. But this figure does not do that feature. It'd be pretty cool if he could, or if we could get a similar version. I don't know if we could use this same mold, because this is the Combiner Wars Wheeljack mold. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but just redone to be an Autobot, to be his Autobot form. I would love to see that get done. But this is actually a really, really cool figure. I had my doubts on this guy when I first saw it, because I had never messed with the Wheeljack mold. He's got similar features to the the Wild Rider mold, the Lamborghini from the Stunticons. But no, not Wild Riders. Yeah, was it Rider Breakdown? It is one of the Lamborghini from the Stunticons. Wild Rider was the one we got the other bot from. But you get this guy. Pretty cool. I mean, I love the blue and the silver on this. It just really brings this figure out. It's also got the black trim here for the fins, the tail spoiler, this bit here, and you got the red rims on here as well. They're not rubber tires at all, but it's still really nice. Also got this purple here, which we'll look at in robot mode, but it's very, very cool figure. I mean, it rolls really well. It's an awesome looking bot. His accessories, combiner limb. I think this is awesome looking. I love the engine bit here on this. I don't know if it's just the paint on this that brings it out a little bit more, but it does look pretty good in this. Yes, I have not opened this. I don't really want to. Again, this figure's sold, so I'm just trying to keep it all together so I not lose it. And you also had this weapon, a nice black with the red for a sword type gun type weapon. I know Wheeljack's, I've seen images of his is like a silver here, so I kind of wish they'd done like the quick slinger and put that little bit of silver along the end there. I think that would have brought this out a little bit more, but it's still a pretty cool weapon. But we'll look here at Punch, or excuse me, Counterpunch. Again, he's from the generations or reuse of the Wheeljack mold, and he's from the just like the other subservice figures here. He comes from one wave. Comes from the Masters of Mayhem set, but still pretty cool. Now to transform this guy, nothing really to it like the Combiner Wars, but I have one little small issue about these guys. This figure in particular, or not the particular figure, but the way his waist is on this, I don't like. To transform him, we're going to start back here. Instead of starting in the front, we'll start again on the back. All you gotta do is basically pull here, just pull to separate the back part, and you'll basically rotate this down on the double hinge joint that's here on the basically the knee area on both sides. You unpeg, because it does kind of peg in. You got a little tab here that pegs into the back of the arms there. So you might want to watch how hard you pull on that, not try to break that. But just straighten these out. Go ahead and separate this, and you can see how it kind of in there, it'll straighten up like so, and that's all there is to it. This is the issue I have. I don't like this hinge right here for his hips. I really don't. I kind of wish they were a little bit more of a separate ball joint right there. I know they kind of did it to kind of help fold this up, but I just don't like that. I really don't, because as you see, you move one side and the other one moves with it. But once you got these lined up and pegged up, you'll simply reach back here on the spoiler, fold this down on both sides, and then you reach up here to the bottom of the car, and you fold this panel down, and there's your feet. And we got them standing. Next, you'll want to go ahead and reach up here in this back panel here, right here underneath the windshield. It's kind of a tricky pull here if you don't have fingernails, but you kind of reach up under there, pull this whole panel up, and then or back, excuse me, and then you'll unpeg this, because it does peg in to right here at the top of the body. You see this peg? It pegs right in there. You'll unpeg that and you'll rotate this piece back. As you can see, this will come off more than likely, just coming out from being unpegged. You'll then reach right here on the sides and kind of just rotate these up. You hear it kind of tough here at this joint. You'll rotate these out and you'll fold these down to form his arms. These panels are going to come into play here in just a moment. Once you get these out, pulled out and straightened up like so, and down. You leave these here for the moment. You're going to pull this panel down like so, and there is like a double hinge back in here, so you got to kind of hold this back and kind of just flip it back at this hinge right in here. You see there's that hinge right there. You got to fold that down, and it covers up. It doesn't peg into that peg, but it's going to cover it up like so. If I pull this panel up to see better, it'll flip over that. Basically, it kind of sits on it, and then you'll rotate this down, and you see you have two little peg holes on the bottom of this panel here, and they're going to peg into these pegs here. If you do this right, it just locks into place like so. Kind of straighten his head up a little bit, and then these little panels I spoke of are going to simply fold up like so into those little sections, and it's going to pull the arm up with it just to straighten him up. And that's all for his robot mode. It's not bad looking. Again, I love the blue, the paint scheme for this. It looks really good. There's something about these hips I just don't like. I really don't. It does have the swivel, like normal, but I just can't stand these hips. Kind of too loose. I'm sure if you put some nail polish or even some super glue on those ball joints and that, and maybe in there, without not having these attached, it'll tighten that up where it won't be so loose. But at least on mine, I mean, it could just be the way mine is. But there we have it. I mean, this is Punch, or excuse me, Counter Punch. I keep wanting to call this Punch. Very cool. I do like the blue paint scheme. I do love the silver here, because they basically like the windshields like right here, even though it's behind him. You got the yellow for his shoulders. You got this nice silver and purple and green right here on his knee. That does just really makes that pop really nicely. And then of course you got all the red. You can't really see him on the tires from the sides, but it does look really good. And he's got a nice head sculpt. Got the silver, basically visor, the same silver paint, and the silk from the silver here. And of course you got the black helmet. Now on the G1 version of this helmet, what it would do is it would flip back this way to be the Decepticon, and you flip it back on this side to be the Autobot. So basically, and then that would always get real loose, because I used to have it. I actually had two of them at one time, and the little helmet got real loose, and I just could not tighten it back up to do anything with. So it'd be like, it always looked like the visor is about half down on them. But still, it's a really good use of this mold. Again, I would love to see somebody come out with using this mold and just repaint it, or not repaint it, but redo it with a new head sculpt. And well, actually, it would have to be repainted a little bit to give the Autobot scheme, because I think the Autobot had yellow like in here on his chest and stuff. So I would like to see that. And plus, on the Decepticon and the G1, his body, like the front end of his car mode, would basically fold down like so, where it was basically his shoulders here, and his arms come down. So I mean, that was the only difference really between them. But again, this is a nice use of this mold. You can combine with Fractal. You can take him and combine him with Toxitron to make a combiner, which we'll probably get into that when I do Toxitron's video. Probably the next last video I do for this wave. But again, that's going to be it for Counterpunch here. Pretty cool bot. Of all these, I'd have to say, of all the whole wave, this guy's going to be ranked right there next to Fractal. I like the Prime and I like the Megatron. Prime is actually my favorite of the line. I'd actually go with Starscream second, because we'll get into Starscream. And then this guy and Fractal are my next two. I think they're just as good as figures. And then right underneath that, I'd have to go with the Lifeline. And I think Megatron's kind of the weakest of all this, but he's still a good figure. But again, being tied for third place ain't too bad for this figure. Oh, well, Toxitron's going to be right up in there too, I guess. But again, not bad. But once again, guys, that's it for this video review. So please like, comment, and share this video. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. If you would like to, follow me on Twitter and follow me on Instagram. Both links to those are both below. If you feel like you want to sponsor me on my Patreon, there's a link down below for that as well. I don't have any amenities for that just yet, so be sure to subscribe and help me out there if you want to, any amount if you would like to do that. And also follow me on Twitch. I've been streaming games on there at night, right at 10 o'clock Central Time during the week, where I play a different game each night. Mondays it's Uncharted, Tuesdays it's Tomb Raider, Wednesdays it's Final Fantasy 15, Thursdays it is Transformers Devastation, and on Fridays I'm going to start playing Batman Return Arkham Asylum. So be sure to stick around and check those out. Follow me on Twitch for those. And this is Devon saying thanks for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon.